Beckman. I'm the corporate chaplain for Ebenezer, and this is a part of a series of reflections and devotions that we've been filming during this time of the pandemic. This reflection is number 36 in our series, and the rest of them are available on YouTube as well. We're filming this morning live from Cherrywood Point in Plymouth, and thanks especially to Josh, our activity assistant, who is filming this. And we're coming to you live from Cherrywood Point in Plymouth. Today's topic is called the COVID brain. I'm wondering if during this time of the pandemic, if you're finding that you're becoming even more forgetful than normal, and if you're making mistakes that you wouldn't normally do. I was thinking of that old worn phrase that we often use, senior moments. Well, maybe you might even get a new phrase out of this devotion today. I find myself often commenting to folks that are saying that I have a COVID brain. And a number of my colleagues, whether they're nurses or physicians or administrators, we are all experiencing the same thing as you. Our brains are overwhelmed and our minds are not fully working. I have colleagues who regularly will say to me, I don't know what day it is today. We're just losing track during this time of pandemic. I had one friend who said, I realized the other morning that I had my glasses on when I was in the shower. And one person even said, I put baby powder accidentally in my coffee maker. It's the COVID brain. Our brains are simply not functioning well during this time. And we're experiencing together a collective trauma during this time. There are so many stressors that are happening in our world that it's rupturing our day-to-day life and our day-to-day well-being. And we're often getting to a place where we're just not functioning in the same way. If you've been watching these devotions, you probably know, and if you know me at all, you know my devotion to coffee. And my ritual in the morning is always the same. I get up in the morning, I pour water in my coffee maker, I grind the beans, I put a new filter in my coffee maker, and then I hit start. I'm also supposed to put the coffee pot back in the maker. Well, just the other Saturday, I did all of that. I got up, poured water in my machine, put a new filter in, hit the on button, ground my beans, and forgot to put the coffee pot back in the maker. When I came back a few minutes later, my wife was sort of like, what is all this brown liquid doing on the floor? And I didn't have my quick response then, but I do now. It's the COVID brain. And it's just sort of this acceptance that none of us are able to do this on a regular basis with all of the stressors that are happening in our world. We're simply overloaded. A quote I want to share with you today talks about that feeling when we make those mistakes. It's almost like we have this abrupt shake-in. It's like our breath comes in, and it's a reminder that something has just happened to us. But the quote talks about the fact that that moment after we take that deep in-breath, that shocking in-breath, often will come a second breath. And it's that moment in between those two breaths when we can remind ourselves gently and lovingly that this is not our fault. Our bodies and our minds can simply not handle all of this crisis. So here's the quote that I want to leave with you today. And it's from a Dutch author named Ebenezer. Sometimes the most important thing in a whole day is the rest taken between two deep breaths. Sometimes the most important thing in a whole day is the rest, that pause, that reminder of grace that we take between two deep breaths. You would think that I would have figured out about the coffee maker the first time. But sadly, I had another moment just the following weekend. Same thing. Got up, went on autopilot, put water in my machine, ground the beans, put a new filter, hit the on button, and again forgot to put the coffee pot in the maker. And I do this every single day. But it's the COVID time. And it's our COVID brain. And we simply can't function like we used to do. And when you take that deep breath in and are reacting with anger and hostility and fear, it's in the moment that comes after, before that second breath, that we can remind ourselves of grace and peace and hope, and that it's the COVID brain that's happening right in that moment. Blessings on the journey, my friends, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye now.